Boomers. Oh, I'm so happy today to introduce you to really an old friend of mine whose name is Lori Wostl. She teaches seniors like us, and she writes books, and she is an environmentalist and has a really great project going that I want her to tell us about. So join me in welcoming Lori Wostl. Lori,
Thanks,
so
Michelle.
glad you could be with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. This is the new thing. I like this.
Well, I'm finding it's really a nice way to have conversations with people I really like.
That's good. That's good.
Well, what would you like to start with? Want to tell us about your books first?
Oh yeah, I would like to tell you about my book. So since I was 4 years old, I wanted to be somebody that wrote books. And now I'm not 4 years old anymore and I'm writing books and it's fun. They have no social significance, except for
No?
that they have strong women characters, okay? But
Uh-huh.
they're romance novels. And my first series is up on Amazon. So it's very, here, I'll show you a picture of my book. Can you see this?
House of Bliss. Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah. And my author name is Laura D. Rowland. Can you see that?
I see
Yeah.
it. Good.
It looks backwards to me. Does it look backwards to you?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, good. So uh, they're just romance novels. And I love writing romance novels. I love reading romance novels. And I know nobody's supposed to admit that because it's so, what is it, blue collar? No, I don't think it even has a collar.
Well, I tell you, my mother read, I mean, she would have stacks of romance novels by her bed, and and I did read some of them, you know,
Yeah.
and then she would box them up and send them to my aunt.
Yeah.
My aunt would send my mom boxes of romance novels. So I know that they fill a particular need.
Well, and thank God for Kindle. We don't have to have the stacks anymore, although we
Well,
can. Yeah. 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 So we had this nice little reader. There's 1,000 romance novels at my bedside.
nice.
And
Well,
so I have the House of Bliss, followed by More Bliss, followed by
ooh.
Pure Bliss. And
Okay.
if you go to my website, lauradrowland.com, you can get a free book that's prequel to all of them.
Oh, how fun is that?
Yeah, should I put that in the chat? I don't know if they can see.
No, they can't see that, but I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay, great, great. Okay, now I made this messed up. Okay. That's better. Okay, sorry.
All right, so you got three up already.
Yes,
Is
I'm.
there more
Yep.
bliss coming our way?
Well, I switched books, so I have another series, a different series, and I'm writing book 3 right now of 3 books.
Tell us.
Well, it's called Hazy Shades of Time is the series, and
And is it a
it's
science fiction?
no, it's romance. I tell you, I write romance. I know,
Only romance.
lowbrow. So
Gotcha.
far, I'm writing as fast as I could go. And this is like a, a, a modern day person finding out about her grandmother at her age. So
I guess.
it's I like the book. I think it's a great book, and so of course I think it's right. I'm writing it. Of course I think it's a great book and a great
Well,
series.
yeah, you wouldn't write it if you didn't like
Yes, yes,
it. Uh and these are all like available on Amazon, or do you want people to
yeah.
buy them from your website?
Well, there's a thing with Amazon. If you go to my website and click on it, it'll take you to Amazon, but then Amazon records that it came from my website, and I get points. But
Hey,
really, I just want people to read the book. So, books.
well, I think that's on my near schedule.
Yes, it could be. Now, what I say about them is, let's see, how do I say it? a few degrees hotter than Nora Roberts and a few degrees less kinky, a few shades less kinky than Christian Grey.
All right. Well, that sounds just about where I am.
I hate to say it, I think a bunch of us are there.
Oh, we like a little spice,
Yeah.
but we don't want to like throw up either.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So that's keeping you busy, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's one of my projects, one of the things I do. I find
Yeah.
that, it may just be me, but I don't think I could write 8 hours a day. And my days usually are about 16 hours, so you know.
Right. I don't think anybody recommends writing 8 hours a day.
I manage about 2 hours a day.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, so you also left Colorado, which is, paradise on earth, to move to Washington, is it?
Yes, on an island in Washington State, about an hour from Seattle. Take a ferry boat, and I actually was born here, but
Oh,
my parents moved us away when I was 7. So a couple of years ago, I said, well, if we had a project, we were auditioning the world for our next home base, and this was on my audition list. I said, well, I haven't been there since I was 7 in the winter time, so we better go. So we went a couple, and this came out number 1 on my list. And my husband was still looking when he died. He was saying, yeah, that's not the place. Oh, that's not the place. So we stayed in Colorado while he ended his sojourn here on the planet. Because also here on this property where I am, which is another whole novel in itself, someone actually gave me 22 acres within a quarter mile of where I was born, which is where I want to be, right? and there was actually a cost. The cost is that I figure out a way to preserve it so that the trees are never logged. So there's some big trees, they're probably in the 150-year-old range, and they're
oh,
cedar trees and Sitka spruce. And so just last week I didn't know what to do, so I had to look it up and read up on how to do it. But I started the process for having a conservation easement put on this property so that no matter what happens in the future, who sells it, who buys it, who subdivides it, the trees can't be cut. And there's an artesian spring on it too, so that's also being protected. So that's a
oh,
pretty good
well,
project.
and so you have a house there, and are you by yourself?
I have a house here, but the house is under renovation. It's been empty for 3 years, and before that, it was an older gentleman that was not well, so it wasn't cared for. So they're renovating that. So I'm living in an RV on the property. Now that the weather's warmed up, I ran around all winter staying warm. I went to Florida, I went to Texas, I have family in all those places. So, but hopefully by this coming winter, it'll be a house that stays warm by itself, and well, not by itself, but I'll be able to stay in it. If not, I'll go to Florida and Texas.
Well, if you want a little snow, you can come home.
I had enough. I had enough snow and it snows here a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, there might be a 10-day stretch where there's possible snow.
Okay. Didn't know that.
That's enough snow.
Wow. Well, we're doing snow and rain right now. So it's kind of off at, during the
I
day
think
it's
it's
raining and at night it's snowing.
Yeah, so it's near the end of April when we're talking, right?
Yep.
We've just come to 50s in the nighttime. High 40s, low 50s in the nighttime, mid 50s, high 50s in the daytime. And I think it might get warmer, but this is great for me.
Yes. Well, so with regards to your trees, Now, are you
Yeah.
going to have like student interns or other people coming to um, do things with your trees?
Yes, and it's not set up yet, but the plan is that there will be, so the house is large. So they gave me the house with the property too. It's pretty large. I mean, I'm living in an RV and I've got enough room, so I don't take a lot of room. And two of my grandkids are here and they're in their mid-20s because I needed some muscle and I invited everybody in the family to come and two of them showed up. So they're
Hey, that's good.
they're building fence for me right now because it came with an orchard too, and the orchard has been deer fest 2020, 2021, 2022, So we're leaving some of the apple trees outside the fence for the deer, but we're putting up a pretty large fence so we can have a veggie garden and the apples and cherries and
Mm.
peaches. So yeah.
All
So
sounds
now what did
good.
you ask me? You asked me something. Oh yeah. So the plan is that when I get it renovated, everything renovated, I am going to invite uh woodland forestry people from the University of Washington if they wanted to have a resident here. So I don't know how they work it, but I suspect they do residencies, maybe a school year or 2 school years where they could come be on the land and look at trees. That's what I
Well,
do. And study
but
how
if
it's going. Yeah.
yeah, but if you're an academic person, I would just think that would be a dream come true.
I'm hoping they think that because there's a, so I live near Langley, Washington, and there's a whale center and it's all information about whales, because we have whales here. And so an informed public knows, you know, not only don't go kill whales, but they know don't put plastic junk in the ocean because it kills whales. Like an informed public is a smarter, more conscious public. And I was
Sure.
thinking I could have a tree, the tree center. And what I'm calling it now is these old trees. So I think these old trees should be the thing it is. And really to educate people about the value of older trees. Bigger trees exponentially sequester carbon over, like a 10-year-old tree sequesters carbon. It's no doubt about it, it helps the environment. 100-year-old tree doesn't do it 10 times better. It does it something like 1,000 times better. I'm terrible at
Really?
math. So don't quote me. You'll have to look it up. But, it's like exponentially more carbon sequestration per every year. And these
Mhm.
are old trees. So these are the trees that need to be saved. Just like if you cut one of these down, you can't replace it
Well, that's right. Well, at least not for
for
another
140
150
years.
years.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So the idea is to keep the big old ones doing their job as long as we can. And, there's young ones growing up too, but
Sure. But it's kind of like us. We want to keep going as long as we can, right?
yeah, yeah,
Making a
I don't,
difference as long as we can.
yeah. And, I think the quality of our air is something that we really need to attend to.
Oh, yes.
And it's not like you and I can go out there and take a scrub brush to the air. it's it's
Right.
something that's outside of our, but we can grow trees.
Hmm. Well, I love where I live, I look across Denver to the mountains.
Hmm.
And I love that. I love that I got an apartment with a view of the mountains. However, there are many days when I cannot see the mountains, and that kind of breaks my heart.
Is it industrial stuff or is it
Well,
weather?
it's it's a combination, I think. I think it's smog, and there are just times when it's low over the valley,
Hmm.
and then some days it's just fog, and and it blows away, and it's not a problem. But when there's smog, people can't breathe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but it's why I don't complain about the snow and the rain, because I'd rather get the snow and the rain than forest fire ashes,
Yeah.
which which we get if we don't get enough rain. So
Yeah, which is going to be another season. They're going to call it the ash
exactly.
season. Yeah,
And
yeah,
we don't want to burn down all our trees.
yeah. So where I am on this island, I can walk. I can walk into town. I can walk to get coffee. I can walk to the beach. And when I get to the beach, I can look out over the Puget Sound to the Olympic Peninsula where there are 14ers
Oh,
and
nice.
and a rainforest. I'm going there this weekend. I'm going there for a little car
You
trip.
just got everything there.
I know it's a good place. And oxygen. It's sea level. It's easier for me to breathe here.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of us boomers are looking around. Do we want to move somewhere else? Would we be healthier somewhere different than where we are now? I think
Mhm.
that's pretty a lot of us think along those lines. And then there are people like me who are like, it was hard enough moving across town.
Yeah, moving is not for the faint of heart.
It's not. And neither is downsizing, in my opinion.
No, you're right. You're right. But it's kind of funny. Before I came here, I moved 2 big shipping containers onto the property, and I took all the stuff. There's a bunch of furniture and stuff left in the house, and the previous owner, it was his brother that was here, uh, went through with me and picked out the stuff he wanted to keep. So I put that in one shipping container, and then I went from my 5-bedroom house into a shipping container.
My God.
So, but now what's really funny is all my stuff's in the shipping container. I'm here in the RV. I have a few, I have my computer and my writing utensils, and uh 6 people could eat here, but we'd have to use paper plates. You know, so we really, and I'm so happy here. I'm so happy. I'm normally a happy person, but it's not the stuff that makes me happy, because it's just like
Well,
all my stuff's over in that shipping container over there mostly, and I'm living on probably maybe a 1/100th of the stuff I used to have.
yes. Well, we became widows about the same time.
Yeah,
And I also have downsized considerably. And I live in a little apartment and I have boxes in my garage, and that is it. And that just seems so strange.
yeah, and
It's
in
like,
your boxes, you're not getting that stuff out.
right.
It's like, wait, why did I bring all that stuff with me? I'm fine. I'm not, I got plenty of clothes. I got plenty of books. It's like, why did I bring all that stuff? And at the time I was getting rid of stuff, I thought, man, I don't have anything left. You know,
Mhm.
except the shipping container is probably 8 by 20 feet. I think you know,
Mhm. That's
it's still all sitting
when
over
you
there
move into your house, you'll
I'm gonna
have
rattle
something.
around.
Yeah. Oh, well, Lori, it seems to me you used to run art camps for women. Am I
I
right
did.
about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Are you doing art still?
I am doing art still. Let's see, do I have any art nearby here? I don't have any right here at this table. I don't think. I probably do. Oh yeah, I do. Because I made one of them into my Zoom list.
Oh, pretty.
So I draw, and this is a kind of drawing called Zen tangles. So it's like a
Ah,
meditation in drawing. I don't know. Let me see, is there an up on this one? Oh yeah, there is an up on this one. Nobody else could tell but me, but this is upward.
yeah.
But so generally I do a 2 by 2 Zen tangle a day. And I
Is that
write,
just to keep your hand in, or just because you like tiny
well, because I can do it in an
projects?
evening.
Uh-huh. And be complete with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I do other art, but it's kind of funny here because I have been doing drawings, and what I did with my drawings this year is I made them into God, I can't believe I didn't bring some to show you. I made them into greeting cards.
Ah,
So I made 2 birds and a couple plants, and then for Christmas I did a pine cone. And I know people do not send cards anymore, so it's like, oh well, I do.
oh yeah, but when you get one, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah, I like to get cards, and it's very few
Yeah.
people that send cards anymore. I
Well,
can't believe I didn't bring one of those here.
I love to get cards in the mail, and and I walk down to my mailbox every day, and there's rarely anything in it, but when there is, it's like, oh, I mean, I got a graduation announcement
Yeah,
yesterday,
yeah,
and it made me so happy, you know. Whereas, you can remember that you used to get letters and you used to get
yeah,
cards.
yeah. Now you get your National Geographic subscription and your power bill.
Well, that's about it. And a lot of the bills don't even come anymore. They
Yeah.
just zip it right out of your checking account.
Yeah, well, we save paper, right? Okay, Michelle, make sure I get your mailing address and I'll send you a card.
Oh, nice. I'd love
And
that.
you'll have a Lori original.
Hey, I'll probably frame it and hang it on the wall.
I think probably only my mother did that. Well, maybe, I don't know.
Well, I have I have things on the wall.
Yeah, yeah,
See?
yeah, yeah,
And plus, I also have my children's art and my grandchildren's art, of course, but that's
yes,
a little different.
yeah, yeah. I call that like that's kind of like journaling, keeps pace with the chronology of time, the chronology of your life.
Well, that's right. That's right. Well, and uh, I signed up for a course this year where we put together autobiographies,
Hmm.
and all of my pictures from when I was married to my husband Jess are digital, and I didn't, and it's like,
Oops.
oh, I'm very far behind in my life. I need to catch up with my life.
Yeah, mine's way ahead of me. It's going faster than I am.
Ah, well, there you go. There you go. I have found that I am very interested in what's happening with my grandchildren, but that they really don't need me anymore. That's
Yeah,
what I'm discovering.
yeah,
And so it's like, oh, well, I'm still planning to live about another 25 years.
yep,
So what is it that I can do that will sort of enliven those 25 years? If I'm not dealing with babysitting babies, I do some pet sitting, but
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm,
Well, yeah,
it's like, okay, but let's create something that's going to be fun, which is why I've started doing podcasting.
yeah, yeah. It's a good idea. I thought of it. I said, "Oh, that's a good idea. That'd be fun."
Mhm.
It's basically that is. If I don't enjoy it, I look and see why am I doing this? Because sometimes I think there's things you have to do that you don't enjoy. I'm not sure what they are. I mean, maybe pay your taxes,
Taxes. That's what I was going to say.
but probably. Nah, I don't want to have to hurry up the dying, so I don't have to deal with it. But no, no. But you know, it's. I think I'm looking. I don't do much. I'm clear. I'm over 70. My days are numbered. I hope it's a high number because I'm having a good time.
Mhm,
But I'm not going to spend any of them doing things I should do that I don't care to.
mhm.
So, I'll help out a friend if a friend needs a help. I'll do something I might not like go over and help them. paint a wall or something, but then you get the companionship and the friendship while you're doing it. So it's not
That's right.
just painting a wall. But
Hmm.
basically, I wish I'd started thinking like this when I was 30. Oh, your days are numbered. What are you doing that you don't like to do? Stop it.
Well, right. Well, right. And if you think of things you might like to do, well, don't wait.
Yes.
Don't put it off anymore.
Yeah. Start now. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I've always been doing things I like to do mostly. But I'm like I said, I've been wanting to write fiction since I was small. Before I started school, I used to sit in my mom's kitchen and so I would want to write something, right? So I would say, "How do you spell?" And she would spell it for me. And then I'd say, "How do you make a K?" Because it was before I started school and I didn't know the odd letters. K is kind of an odd letter.
Yes, it is.
I
Well,
distinctly remember a time my mom turning around looking at me. "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm writing a book."
uh,
And I had just asked her, what does a K look like? Because my character was Kathy.
oh.
And then she told me, dead serious, well, maybe your Kathy should start with a C. "Oh, I can make a C." My mom was a nut. She was just like, okay, this kid wants to write.
Give her useful advice.
Those K's are hard. Try this C. It's kind of easy. Anyway,
Well, all right. And now, so with your romance novels,
yes.
I want to get back to your writing,
Okay.
but
Okay.
um, are you are you going to do like a book signing tour?
Well, if I can figure out a way to do it that's fun.
I bet you could.
I think so too. I just recently, so I'm in a new place. I know where I am right around my place, but I don't know where a lot of things are. But I just started looking on the map and I made a circle and wrote all the little towns in the circle and looked up their bookstores. So that's
Oh,
next.
well, and you could, use your local setting for something deeply romantic.
Wait a minute. What? Well, my granddaughter, who's here with me, uh, wants to turn it into a wedding venue. And I said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Oh, yeah, this is such a romantic place." And I said, Okay.
Oh, that sounds fabulous.
Because, you could have a forest wedding or you could have a meadow wedding. You could have an organic farm wedding.
Well, and you
There's
could
lots of,
have a wedding suite.
maybe I should name it that. No.
Or the
Uh,
sweet wedding suite.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's her thing, and it will all fit here, so
Oh, I love it. I
I,
love it.
I
It
do love
sounds
it.
it sounds like you are also creating a romantic life in a
Yeah, well,
beautiful place.
yeah, it is what I've always wanted. And I don't have a man. And I'm thinking, do I want one? This is the first, so I've been widowed. It's coming up on 3 years, I think. Is that what it is for you?
Yeah, it was 2 years in February.
Yeah. So then so the truth of it is the first time I've lived on my own ever. I moved out of my parents' house and my sister and I got married. And then 50 years later, here I am.
Well, right.
Finally.
Yeah, it kind of feels like being a college student.
Yeah, sometimes I don't do the dishes. Don't report me, okay?
All right, I won't tell anybody. All right. Well, we need to bring our conversation to a close, but it's just been such a pleasure to talk with you, Lori.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing this, Michelle. It is fun.
All right. And I want to put your books in the show notes so people can find them easily. I'm really looking forward to reading them.
Sexier than Nora Roberts, not as kinky as Christian Grey. I think that's the way to go.
Well, that's where we're going to close our conversation.
Stop now. Thanks.
All right, boomers, we will see you next week. So long. Hi, boomers. Welcome back. I was so pleased to meet with my old friend Lori again and to hear about her books. So, the first trilogy she's written is available now. You can either get it on her website or you can get it from Amazon Kindle. In fact, it's on Kindle Unlimited. So, it is the House of Bliss series. And as she said, it's spicy, but not pornographic. So that sounds like the sweet spot where I like my books. Also, if you are interested in Lori's work to preserve the old growth trees in Washington State, you can email her on her website. I love it that as we get older, things change for us. We move. Lots of people move to be close to their grandchildren. Other people move, like me, because of becoming a widow. Lori had a much more nuanced vision for her life of where she wanted to go after her husband died. Cross town was enough for me, but she moved across country and she is making something magnificent in Washington State, as well as writing her books and teaching seniors. So I think the takeaway is we can do many things, even though we're of a certain age. So that's it for today, boomers. I'll see you next week. Bye.